it's not very often that a movie like this comes along and the general public kind of likes it. I mean, this is the kind of... Oh no. Come on. Really? Now that I feel like I'm stuck in a box, let's review this movie. The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is a new movie starring Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. They're stuck on an island with a lighthouse, and that's like the whole movie. These two guys on an island at a lighthouse. The movie really is structured around what psychological stress and circumstances would happen if two people were stuck for months and months on end in one location. Now, this movie has a lot more to it than just the psychological. There's a lot of interesting stuff that happens in this movie, and I'll talk about in a minute. Let me talk about some of the stuff I liked and then some of the stuff I didn't like. The stuff I really enjoyed was the acting. The acting was top-notch. I love seeing Robert Pattinson do roles now that are Oscar-worthy. I mean, this was an Oscar-worthy performance. He was so good. Willem Dafoe is always great, and so it was really good to see him in this movie as well. And the two of them just had really good charisma, which is interesting because I heard that Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson hardly talked at all off-set because Willem Dafoe was living in a cabin like near the lighthouse just to stay in character and kind of be isolated, and Robert Pattinson stayed with everyone else in the hotel. And then when they were on set, anytime they had a break, Robert Pattinson would go and sit by himself and be all quiet, and Willem Dafoe would interact with the crew. So it was this interesting little dynamic they had, and it wasn't until months after that they kind of got to know each other, which was, I think, very beneficial for the movie because the two of them just clashed constantly in their thought. And I think it really helped that in real life, they weren't super buddy-buddy yet. And so I thought that was really good. I love the acting. I love the way this movie is shot. I love the black and white. I love the 4:3 ratio. I love the angles and the shot selection that they choose to use. It felt like The Seventh Seal or one of those movies that we haven't seen in a long time. And it wasn't just a gimmick. A lot of people, they'll do this 4:3 ratio and it's just a gimmick. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, but it would have been better if it wasn't that way. No, this is an instance where it made the movie a lot better. I loved the lighting. I thought all the technical aspects of this movie were brilliant. The set design was gorgeous. I loved that. The score was really good. And for the first half of this movie, I told my wife, I said, this is going to be in my top 5 favorite of the year for sure. Like, just loving it. Just in the mode of the movie, feeling it. Then about halfway, some stuff started happening in the movie, and I really didn't buy into it. I didn't get it. And that's one of my problems with the movie is also not a problem. It's just a personal issue, is that this movie is really made for those kind of people. They're typically English majors that just understand story. I have a few friends that they get it. They watch a movie and go, oh yeah, the story, boo, 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 boo. And I'm like, you got that out of that movie? I have to watch a movie 5 or 6 times to ever get to that level. And this is one of those movies. If you are the kind of person that can watch a movie and instantly get the story, just because you think like that, you're probably going to like this movie. Or if you don't like it, it's just because it's not your kind of movie, but you get it. I personally am not one of those people. I didn't get this movie. About halfway through, I started going, wait, what is going on? And then the last act of the movie, I really was like, huh? And so I was so lost, and I think I would need to watch this movie 3 or 4 times, and then I would finally be like, and I might like it. Unfortunately, I don't want to watch this movie again because it was so brutal and hard to watch. So it's really kind of a positive negative. If you're the right kind of person, this movie plays right in your hand and you enjoy it and you can love it. Or you can say, not my kind of movie, but you understood the movie. I, on the other hand, didn't understand the movie, so it's hard for me to be like, this movie wasn't good, because I think it is. It's not my kind of movie. And it took me so long to understand what's going on, and I'm still confused. And take that for what it is. If you're one of those kind of people that just enjoys those kind of movies, you might get it. Otherwise, the general audience, no. This is going to be one to pass on, I think. Which is weird because it did really well at Toronto and film festivals like that. People just loved it. But I think there were a lot of movies this year that came out that the nostalgia and the technical brilliance of some of these movies carried them through. And I think that that's what a lot of people were holding on to. Like, oh, yeah, it was so great. But how many of them really understood the movie? I don't know. Hopefully a lot of them. But overall, I thought The Lighthouse was a brilliant movie for half the movie. And then I totally lost it the second half. And I just was like, I don't care. And I don't want to watch it again. I didn't feel good watching the movie. Maybe in like 5 or 10 years, I'll come back and watch it. So it's one of those, I'm not going to say it's worth your time, not worth your time. I think you should definitely check it out. And if you can't get through the first 20 minutes, then turn it off because you will not make it through the last. But if you love it, you might continue to love it. And so give it a shot. I think The Lighthouse was an excellent example that you don't need a big story and a lot of things happening to make it interesting. I would have, slight spoiler here, liked to have known more about The Lighthouse. There was some stuff happening there, and it was a bummer that you really don't find out anything about it. Maybe I missed something, but that was also one of my negatives, is that the dialogue was a little hard to hear. It was kind of a throwback to how those old movies were shot. They're hard to hear and understand, but that's more like, come on, just elevate your audio game a little bit, and then it would have made a little more sense. Those are my thoughts on The Lighthouse. I think it's definitely worth checking out for a lot of people, but some people are just not going to get this movie. I'm one of those, unfortunately, so it's not going to be in my top 10 of the year. Jonathan, this review is for you. You're the one that suggested it, so I'm assuming we have very different opinions of this movie because you're the kind of person I was talking about, English major, that kind of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to see more reviews like this, let me know. I like doing reviews, so I don't know what I'm coming up with next. So comment, please. What movie do you want me to review? Let me know. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.